Hey folks, it's Kimberly Hobscheid with Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, and I have another tip for you today. So I was just talking with one of the people that I mentor, and we were talking about how to become a go-to expert in your field. I mean, sure, you're going to go ahead and get the word out about your business, and that's fantastic, but if somebody was to look you up, would they consider you the go-to expert if they needed the product or service that you offered? Well, how do you become a go-to expert exactly? I have 6 ways for you today to figure out how to get yourself to be a go-to expert. They're relatively, some of them are more complicated than others. Some of them are super easy, so stay with me for the 6. All right, so the number one, the best way to get to be known, or maybe not the best way, but one of the most popular ways to get to be known as a go-to expert is that you wrote the book on the subject, all right? And by wrote the book, I mean literally that you are an author on this subject, that you have a book in your name on that particular subject. So if you have a book, or if you have a service or product or something that you offer, writing a book about that subject makes you a credible expert on the subject because you wrote the book. By the way, if you want to know about how to turn that book into an audiobook, let me know because I have that business as well. All right, so let's get off that subject, but back to writing a book. So I know a lot of you are experts in your field and you think that the experience of writing a book is very daunting, and it can feel that way, but I encourage you to reach out in this particular group in Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel on Facebook and check out and put a note in there saying, hey, I want to know how to write a book as quickly and easily as possible. There are a whole slew of experts, credible experts, who wrote the book on how to write the book. All right, so you can get a book written in 60 days or less. There's a couple of people in there who have a book formula to be able to write your book in one day. It won't be published in one day, but to write your book in one day. There's people in there who can help you get your book to a bestseller. There's all kinds of different people in Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel who can help you with the book writing, but it doesn't have to be that complicated if that seems daunting to you. There's also other ways that you can do it. So another way to do it is by writing a blog, all right? So blog writers, if you are a writer and you are a prolific writer, having a blog on your website means that you are a credible authority because you have regular information coming out about that particular subject. So if you have a blog on your website, being the author of a blog and being able to espouse information and give out information on a particular subject makes you a credible expert. Now, don't forget that if you start writing a blog, that you have to keep writing a blog, and also make sure that the people who are in your audience are people who read. So for example, Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, a lot of times people are on the go. We actually don't have a blog for Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, but remember I told you that I have that audiobook business. I do have a book that or a business that caters to authors. And on that website, which is imhearingstories.com, if you go to that website, we actually have a blog. Why? Because writers and authors often are also readers, and that's how they get their content. So we have a blog on our website about the books that have recently been turned into audiobooks. I have interviews with authors, I have interviews with narrators, and I have interviews with listeners. So since they read a lot, I make sure to cater to them, and I do have a blog for that. Another one is YouTube. All right, so now I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is up under Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. Oftentimes, entrepreneurs can watch a 7-minute video really quickly, but they don't have time to sit down and read a whole book, or or follow a blog or anything like that, or maybe they do scan through a blog, I don't know. But I particularly find that it's successful to have videos for people to be able to follow. So I do have a YouTube channel, and I recommend that if that's your audience, that you can start a YouTube channel. Not all that hard. All you need is a video cam and some patience, and you can talk about subjects like this, what you talk about with your customers and your clients and what they need to know, right? So having a YouTube channel is fantastic. By the way, YouTube channels you can post your YouTube channel and your link on Facebook if you have Facebook as well. And now we're getting to some of the easier ones. One of the easiest ones that you could possibly do is actually do Facebook Lives, right? Now there's many people out there who are like, oh my gosh, I've never done a Facebook Live. In fact, I was just talking with an entrepreneur who, several as a matter of fact, recently, and you can see them in Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel where people are like, wow, that's the first Facebook Live I've ever done. Really? Okay, so Facebook Live is a great way to get your message out there and a great way to start being the authority on something. Do Facebook Lives on your own personal page, or you can do them on, there's ways to do, I think there's Insta Video now. I'm not an expert on that, but if you want to know more information on that, put a note below. I'm sure somebody in our community can jump in and tell us all about the Instagram videos. They're also on LinkedIn now. You can do videos on LinkedIn. I'm not doing that currently, but that is something that can be done. And so those all can add to your credibility and authority. Another way to do it is podcasts. Now, don't get all wrapped up and think, oh my gosh, I got to start a podcast. That's a really good idea. First off, if you're doing videos, those can be turned into podcasts fairly easily if you wanted to do that. And secondly, before starting a whole podcast, I recommend that you do the easier thing, and that is get to be a guest on podcasts. Now, if you don't know how to be a guest on podcasts, put a note below, because in our community, we have people that have podcasts that are looking for speakers. We have people who can hook you up with podcasts. We have people who can give you coaching on how to be the best guest possible. So put a note in the link below, and we'll give you information on that of whatever you're looking for. All right. Also, if you are going to launch your own podcast, know that you're going to be in it for the long haul, because there's a lot of one and done podcasts out there, meaning one season and done, 12 episodes, 18 episodes, and then they kind of peter off because it seems like that doesn't seem as exciting anymore. So make sure that whatever you pick, whether it's a blog or a podcast or a book or whatever you're going to do, if you're going to do it, stick to it, finish it, do it all the way, go grand. Don't just go small, because in order to be the go-to expert, you got to do it. And as a matter of fact, that kind of goes for books too, because if you wrote one book, it doesn't make any sense just to leave it at one. You can always write the sequel after that. As a matter of fact, I am a 2-time best-selling inspirational author, best-selling international, did I say that right? Inspirational international best-selling author. That's what I am. Also a best-selling audiobook producer also. And so as soon as you get sort of these credibility pieces to your name, then things get a lot better and easier. One more thing, if you do have a podcast, if you do have a video, if you do have a YouTube channel, consider the next level up, which is getting a TV channel. Now, I actually have a TV channel on ETVN. Ari Tobe is one of our members, and he can help you get your YouTube channel into TV on Entrepreneurs TV Network. So definitely check that out. I'm going to tag him in this video as well. But there is a bunch of people in this community who all can help you get to where you want to go and be the go-to expert. So don't stop there. Come up with some other ideas. Stick them below. These are 6 that I'm giving you. There's tons more, folks, but you got to do it. You got to go be the go-to expert so that you can drive traffic to your business. I'm Kimberly Hobscheid. If you don't already have somebody that you're working with that's fun, that can make the process of being an entrepreneur enjoyable, that can help you follow your bliss. I mean, wasn't it supposed to be fun when you started this business anyway? I would love to work with you. Go to entrepreneursrocketfuel.com/apply and smash that Let's Chat button, fill out the form, and you and I will get on the phone. We'll chat a little bit about where your business is and where you want to be with it, and find out how we can have fun together doing it. I'm Kimberly Hobscheid with Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, and I look forward to working with you. Cheers.